You're sitting down, Roger.
Yeah, I am.
Recording. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Voiceover Network presents the Voiceover Hour. Today, we have a very special Voiceover Hour for you with an amazing guest joining us all the way from Los Angeles. But before I introduce him, I just want to quickly say a welcome, everybody. Welcome, members of the Voiceover Network. Welcome, non-members of the Voiceover Network. I know we have people watching in from all around the world, and it is always amazing, the Voiceover Hour. And I love how we're able to kind of connect people all around the world, share information, answer questions, and basically chat. So the way that we start these webinars each week, and I can see people are slowly logging in. So I would like you all just to type in where in the world you are watching from, and I will read it out as they come in. We have, so that we can I can give shout outs to wherever you are in the world, and we'll see if we've got somewhere totally new and different to what we've had before. We've got Hampton, we've got Brussels, we have Los Angeles, we've got another Los Angeles, we've got London, we've got California, we've got Sacramento, we have, what's that? Ojai? What's Ojai? I don't know where Ojai is. Natalie Gray. Where's Ojai? Wiltshire. Lecoq in Wiltshire. Los Angeles too. We've got Midwest Kansas City. Yeah. We have San Francisco. Hello, San Francisco. We've got Sherman Oaks. Yay. We have Lisa, you're in Croydon.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. South London. We've got West London. That's where I am. We've got another San Francisco. I am in Isleworth, West London. And Roger, you are in Norfolk. Yes, Norfolk. So welcome everybody. It's wonderful to pronounced Ojai, about an hour from LA. Ojai. Ojai. Okay. I was like, Ojai? Oh, hi. There we go. Yeah, just butchering it. And another one from Wiltshire. So fantastic. Excellent. Wonderful. Right. Well, lovely to have you all here joining us. So good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Rachel Naylor, for those of you that don't know. I am a voiceover artist. I'm an actor. I'm founder of the Voiceover Network, editor of the Buzz magazine, and host of the Voiceover Hour. The Voiceover Network, for those of you, because I know we've got lots of members, but we've also got people who aren't members. So the Voiceover Network is about helping, supporting and strengthening the voiceover industry. And that drives everything we do. I set up the Voiceover Network we launched it in 2015 in order to provide a place for working voiceover professionals to come to get support, to get help, to get advice, to get training from the best in the industry. We now have things like the Buzz magazine, which is the only magazine in the world dedicated to the voiceover industry. We've got the most amazing Facebook group ever. I'm going to just say that because it really is. There's online resources that you get, a profile page in the members area of the website. There's discounts on our partners' products and services, one-to-ones, loads happening. So if you're not a member and at the end of this you would like to join, just ping me and Lisa an email and we'll get you set up. So please do ask questions as we go along. We want to make this really interactive, and I know that you guys will have brought a load of questions for our wonderful guest. Do use the hashtag VonWebinar, VON webinar. Get tweeting, get on Instagram. It's all about Instagram. So get on Instagram and use that, and we will retweet, like, share, so it's all good. Joining us, before I introduce our guest, we have Lisa Fizikara, who's the events and production coordinator here at the Voiceover Network. Lisa, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everybody.
And we also have Roger Woods, who's joining us. Roger will be helping to field questions and kind of helping out as well. So do you want to say hi?
Hi, folks. Good afternoon.
Yay. Fantastic. Good stuff. Excellent. So, our guest today. So today, the Voiceover Hour is called LA Agent Shuffle, featuring Dean Panaro. Now, Dean is our guest today, and he was one of the founders of DPN Agency. He then built up the voice department at Abrams Artists Agency. and he's now set up his own amazing agency, which is called Dean Panaro Talent, which is located in Hollywood, California. Dean represents some of the most well-respected talent in our industry, including the amazing Cissy Jones, who we love, Tara Platt, James Arnold Taylor, Victoria Atkin, and many, many, many more. So welcome, Dean.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. It's a really cool thing you're doing.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you joining us all the way from beautiful, sunny Los Angeles.
And it's another gorgeous day here.
Yes, every day. So wonderful, great to have you. So tell us, Dean, you've got your own agency now. How did you get into the industry? How do you get started as a voiceover agent?
I think, like a lot of people in the industry, I kind of fell into it. I went to an industry event and I met a big agent. At the time, he still is a big agent, Jeff Danis. And he had lost his assistant and he needed somebody to be his assistant. And I took the job, and I was just kind of thrown into the middle of the voiceover world immediately. And I fell in love with it. I really did. Like a lot of people, I didn't really know what voiceover was when I started in 1997, 1998. Voiceover wasn't in the collective conscience of pop culture. It wasn't looked at as, oh, I'm going to be a VO artist. It just wasn't a thing that people thought of. People knew animation, I guess, was voiceover, but it wasn't looked at as a career.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the internet, until the 2000s and the aughts, where people started realizing, oh, I can read other people's written words off of a page for money. And when they realized, yes, that's a career, and it's an amazing career if you're working. So anyway, like everybody else, I kind of fell into it. In the late 90s, I fell in love with voiceover. I fell in love with the voice actors because they really are terrific people. And it just, I guess I knew I always wanted to sell something, so to speak. But I didn't know it was going to be actors and voices. But I'm thrilled that this is what I do. So yeah, it was a chance meeting at an event, and it's been great ever since.
Fantastic. And so you recently set up your own agency, which must be so exciting, having kind of been involved in other agencies, and then to get your own Dean Panaro Talent. That must be fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely scary and fun all at the same time. When you'd mentioned some of my great clients, if it wasn't for the commitment from those amazing actors, I couldn't have done this. So my heart goes out to all of my clients. I owe them everything. So because of those clients, I was able to start this agency and, hit the ground running, so to speak. We're really already, the name is out there, especially in Los Angeles, and it's getting out around the country. So I'm very proud. I'm humbled and proud to be able to own my own agency. I was an owner at DPN, obviously, but that was with a couple partners, and this one here is all me, and it's good and stressful because it's all me. But I do have some amazing people working with me on my team, so it takes some of the pressure off. But it's new, it's exciting, it's fun, and we really are kicking ass. We're doing great.
Yay. What's the best thing about being a voiceover agent?
For me in Los Angeles, there are many, many great things, but for me in Los Angeles, the fact that I'm a casting director and an agent at the same time is without a doubt my favorite thing, because as you can see, I'm in my booth right now. We have actors coming in and reading every day. I know there are a lot of agencies out there that don't have booths in their agency anymore, and they have just accept MP3s from home, which is great. But I feel that having the booth, getting to know my actors more intimately is just so important. I feel like I know almost every I feel like I know what every actor can do because I've read them many times. As a voiceover agent, this is something that many people might not think about. The new actors that come in, the fresh young actors that come in with fresh new phrasing and takes on things, that keeps me fresh. Because like when voice actors do things like workout groups and stuff like that, I hear them say, oh, this is only for working pros only. And I think, really, you don't want to hear what the young, fresh, new people have to say, what their phrasing is like? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, voiceover is about how you group words together. It's about how you phrase, and it's timing. So when a new actor comes in that isn't commercialized yet, so to speak, they don't know the commercial rhythm. They're not used to the commercial rhythm because they haven't been working in the business. They will come with a rhythm that is so not commercial, and it's educational. Every day I learn something new from having my booth. So the best part is definitely that I'm a casting director and that I'm an agent. I decide who goes in on the I get the projects and I decide who goes in. I don't have to call somebody and kiss their butt to get my actors in. I just bring them in myself. So no doubt about it that we wield double power in Los Angeles with casting director and being an agent. I love it.
Excellent.
And it keeps me involved in the creative process too. If I just had to, send emails with names all day and that's it, that would kind of bum me out.
And in terms of, actually going back to your point about mixing, that's one of the things we do at the Voiceover Network. In terms of our courses, we often have a mix, don't we, of very experienced voiceover artists in a room training with people who are really new. And I am such a big believer in that, because as an experienced voiceover artist, I always learn a huge amount from new talent. They always bring something fresh.
Yeah, when I teach classes or, do group things, I think the second most important thing besides your read when you go in and read for the group is listening to other people read. You can learn so much by listening to other voice actors work on their craft, and you can hear them do something and you're like, oh, I can take that and put that in my backpack. You hear something, oh, I heard what he did, what she did. I didn't like that. You learn so much from watching other performers in voiceover. So if you are a part of a group situation, please do not start looking at your Instagram while other people are reading. That's when you should be most focused, when other people are reading. To jump around a little bit, that's, back in the day, in the aughts, in the 90s, all the clients used to come into the agent, read everything. And there were group radio scripts. So every day was like voiceover school. Every day, the lobby was filled with actors doing group reads. And we used to bring, 3 people and an announcer in the booth. And the younger actors would get education from the older actors that way. Now, since it's so much, testimonial, there's, not really groups anymore. It's just a person and an announcer. And so many people do stuff from home. There's just not that schooling that you get anymore, going to your agency every day and reading. So it used to be a really cool thing that we, it doesn't exist like it used to, but there are still ways, like the Voice Actors Network, to get that education that you need.
Definitely. Fab. And flipping it on its head, what's the hardest thing about being a voiceover agent? What's the toughest thing about your job?
There's not a lot of bad, but I will say I guess I'm surprised a lot of times. I don't know. Today I don't have any problems. Today it's all good.
Okay, cool.
No problems.
Sorry,
today.
I kind of threw that in. I was like, oh, but probably just having kind of you're just busy and time management and maybe Yeah,
long form contracts. I hate long form contracts. I don't want to read long form contracts like a lawyer. That's a bummer for me.
Yeah.
But I got to do it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I don't long form contracts. But it means somebody has a deal, so that's good. Somebody has a deal.
Yeah, definitely. That must be nice when you get to be the one to call people and tell them when they've booked fantastic jobs. Yeah.
The best feeling in the world is finding a young actor, telling them they're going to be special, and then watching them book, and then just sit, a lot of times I know actors are going to book way before they do. Yeah. Most time I know they're going to book before they do. It doesn't happen on their timetable. Certainly doesn't happen on their timetable. It doesn't happen on my timetable, but you can still pay that. That's another one of the reasons I do voiceover, is because I believe in 2018, you can still find a young actor and say, you are good.
Yeah.
You are special. You can make money in this business. And then watching them do that is really exciting.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, and so the voice actors that you see booking, and obviously you've worked with lots and lots of different voice actors, and you've seen the industry change. What is it that those who are booking, what is it that they do? What's the magic that they have,
there's so many different pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, but the best way I can try to explain contemporary voiceover, let's talk commercially.
Mm-hmm.
Commercially, high-end commercial voiceover. I think, first of all, it's important for actors to realize, and this is more in the union space, but that what books the job is not what goes on air. And what I mean by that is, for the auditioning process, interesting, subtle, unique wins the day for the audition.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the session, interesting, subtle, and unique might not make the client happy. And I find in 2018, the agency's idea of what sounds good and the client's idea of what sounds good are two different things. The agency is the advertising agency I'm talking about. They're trying to make a film, a gorgeous film, and the client's trying to sell stuff. So the agency wants a great actor for their voice actor. They don't care. They want a talented actor. They're casting a talented actor, so they can look back and say, I casted a talented person. When they get that person in the session, they don't care anymore. They're trying to sell something, and the clients, you do the interesting, subtle, unique read in the session, and the client will go, hey, we're trying to sell something here. Can you jack it up? And by the end of the session, the interesting, subtle, and unique read that you did is now just a jacked up voiceover that sounds like everything else. And that's fine, because they're paying you. So I think to take anything away, especially in the union commercial space, interesting, subtle, and unique wins the booking. When you get to the session, just be directable, and they'll direct you into the read that they want. But so many times actors will say, I heard that spot on the air. That's not the direction that they asked for. If they would have told me that, I could have done that for them. And I say, well, you've missed the point. They got the same direction you did. They booked the job with something probably similar to what you did. They got to the session, and the client made them yell about it. So if you find yourself saying, that's not what they asked for, you're probably thinking of it. You just adjust your thinking a little bit. Everybody got the same information. They did an interesting, subtle, unique read that got booked, and then the client made him scream about it.
Yeah.
Subtle wins.
Cool. Nice. And in terms of, I'm really interested in the differences between the UK and the US, in terms of, in the US, you audition for everything, right? Do people ever, because in the UK, we still get booked from our reels, which is wonderful.
Very,
yay. I like that.
Very rarely.
Yeah. So,
yes, it happens.
Okay.
But it's like I said, when I first started in the late 90s, when we were sending FedEx, DAT tapes FedEx, or we converted to cassette tapes. Back then, somebody would call and you couldn't just get a voice immediately. So they'd say, we need a female, 20 to 30, this, and we give them a couple choices, send the demo, and they'd book people. Now, because we have done it to ourselves as agents, we've become so fast that we let the buyers believe, yes, you can hear people read in minutes. So that's our own fault. We've done that to ourselves. The speed thing. But so yeah, you very rarely get directly booked. And some of the other differences obviously are we're terrible with accents over here. We not me personally, but us as a country, if it's not American, we just think it's not American. So the indistinguishable British mid-Atlantic accent that doesn't really exist in the real world is kind of what the fake commercial accent is out there that we use. But the great thing about what we have here is our union, which gets us
which is amazing.
Really, it gets us really great rates for commercials. That's the main difference is the incredible residuals we get for commercials, and animation and video games not as much, but because of the union, our rates are really great, and you can have a really serious career. Many people can have a very serious career here. So the union is it means everything to us. It's huge. I would not have a job without the union.
Yeah.
Can we just bounce in with a couple of questions, because you've touched on the item of unions. A couple of questions from UK voiceover actors. Lorraine down in good old London says, do you need a green card or a 101 visa to work in the States if you're from Britain? The assumption is, yes. I'm supposing so. Yes. If you're actually physically in the country, if you're in a booth like me in the middle of nowhere, it might be slightly different.
Yeah.
The next question from Julia Norton. She says she's a British actor, voice actor in California, comfortable with a wide range of British accents, but the US accents have been a very steep learning curve for her in the States. For implants like her, do you, Dean, think it's important for her to have a US accent in addition to her native accent, or should she just, as she says here, sort of niche down and just get with the flow?
Well, if it's that difficult to learn the American accent, then yeah. I mean, if it's the interesting thing about non-Americans doing an American accent is we find it interesting. We don't know why we find it interesting. It's again about the way you group words together, the way Americans group words together, and the way Britons or anywhere else group words together is different, obviously. So when we hear a non-American speak with an American accent, and we can't tell that they're not American, we find it interesting because of the way they group words together. It's different than the way we group words together. So to answer the question, if she can do a good American accent, I very much think that she should try. I have 3 incredible actresses from, South Africa, England, and Scotland. So Katie Townsend from Scotland, Victoria Atkin from England, and Natasha Loring from South America, or excuse me, South Africa, and they all do an American accent as well, and I feed them American because it sounds interesting. When you hear it, you're like, it's a little off or a little weird, but again, it's because the grouping of words is different than we do it. Like the cast of The Walking Dead, half of those are, I think half of those are British, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's really fascinating because I've had it before where I've been asked to do, gosh, I can't remember. Oh, I was asked to do an Irish accent, but because what they wanted is they liked the way that I speak in an English accent, but they wanted it with the it's the rhythm of the speach that they wanted, and that was kind of I was a bit like, oh, don't just get someone who's Irish. No, all right, I'll do it. But it's really interesting. Can I just go back to the question about the visa, because I know that's an interesting one for people watching. In terms of having a work visa for the States, yes, when you just to explain to people, when you are physically in the UK, you can work with clients in America and you don't have to have a working visa. If you go over there, yes, you do. But agents like Dean, I know Atlas as well, I know I'm pretty sure DPN, a couple of the other ones, they do want, even if you're based here in the UK, they want you to have an O1 visa. That's right, isn't it, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, because of the union stuff, I'm pretty sure it requires it all. And to come over here to just do non-union, now there is money to be made, no question about it. There's a thriving non-union world going on here. But to do the union stuff, I'm pretty sure you got to have it. I don't think there's any way around it. And it's not cheap either. But if you're a talented actor, no doubt it's worth it.
And on that, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. I do know somebody who runs a company who helps people get visas in the States, and I will get him to come and do a webinar soon, people. So those of you that are interested in that, it will happen.
Couple more questions.
Oh yes,
we got loads of questions today. Absolutely loads and loads of questions.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fantastic. You briefly touched on union, and there's a question that says, "Do you need to be a member of SAG-AFTRA to do voiceover work?" I think you've part answered that one, saying no, not really, because there's a thriving non-union community as well. it's again, I suppose it's broadening that question, because Julia asks, are you finding that the industry in the States is going non-union versus union, and how much of each do you do?
It's hard to say. I mean, we're 90% union without question. But with that said, so many amazing casting directors and directors of animation and everything do union and non-union. So if you want to stay on the nice list for casting directors, you're going to put people down on the non-union stuff. Now, I don't put a lot of people down. I have always a group of testing actors, so to speak. I'll have 5, 7, 10 actors that are new, or whatever it may be, that I'm sort of trying out, and that they may not be in the union, or whatever it may be. But yes, I'll have 4, 5, 10 non-union people available to read on some non-union stuff. And then I'll have some FICOR people as well. And then if it's a casting director who has a great relationship with a certain actor, I'll even put a great union actor on something for a casting director. You know, it's about keeping people happy, keeping great casting directors happy on their non-union stuff, so they give you their great union stuff. You know, and there are rules to doing non-union, in my opinion, for Los Angeles anyway. I don't do really any TV commercials, like national TV commercials, non-union. I don't really do that. If it's a local children's hospital, different story. But television commercials, non-union, are kind of the thing we don't do, just because TV commercials pay so well with the union, and I don't want to be a part of bringing that down. With that said, I do have some people on some non-union stuff now and again. It's impossible not to.
Okay, another question, just building on that a little bit, going back to you and your agency. When people come directly to you asking to be on your books, what are your criteria for picking them up? What makes you think that they have a sort of future with you and your team, as opposed to just chucking them back out on the sidewalk?
Well, needs, first of all. If I have a need in a category, I'm all ears. You know, even though it's voiceover, we still categorize the actors. We have to. Yeah. We have to find a way to categorize you. And I always say to an actor, if I'm in your category, if a casting director calls and asks for names in a category, and I'm not saying your name in the first 6 or 8 names, that's a problem for you as an actor. You know, now, if it's a broad category, if you're like, okay, 20 to 50 men and women, if I don't come out of your mouth in the first 8, that's fine. But if they're like, I need a 25-year-old woman who is kind of goth, this and that, if you don't come out of my mouth in the first 5, 6, 8 names, you're not supposed to be with me. But so category, you know, if I need a category, number 1. But number 2, when I hear a great voice actor for the first time, I have almost a visceral reaction to it. I almost have a physical reaction to somebody's read. It's not just the voice, for sure. I can fall in love with somebody's read. I can fall in love with somebody's sense of humor. I can fall in love with somebody's overall talent, or a certain read that they do. There are many reasons I will like an actor that shows up in front of me, and it can be their voice is just beautiful. The way they group words together makes them really funny, because for whatever reason, funny people just make it funny. I don't know how they do it. It's amazing. And that's why, you get these specs of, it's literally, there's nothing funny. It's, come to the Clackamas Town Center, whatever. But for whatever reason, a person with a good sense of humor can group words together in a way that makes it sound less commercial, if you will. To answer your question, it's not about voice. It can be about voice, but a great read, great timing, comedy. Again, I can't explain physically what happens, but I just like it. When I hear it, I like it.
Yeah.
And listen, people have grown on me as well. I've had actors where I think, I'm kind of lukewarm on them. And over time, they either get better, or I just kind of warm to it, or they book so much I just fall in love with it. That's happened, believe me.
That's always a given. Oh, fantastic. Excellent. And what about home studios? Obviously in America, you know, in the UK, we've cottoned on to the home studio thing. And in America, obviously, because people are, you know, so far away, whereas in the UK, generally, most things happen in London. So there are still a lot of very well-established voiceover artists who don't have home studios. But I think in the States, like, everybody's got a home studio, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of actors that don't because they know I have a booth, to be honest. And I've always I've never forced my people to get them, but I think it's a great idea because there's so much last minute stuff. You know, not years ago, but a few years ago, older actors that were learning how to read themselves without direction, they had a tough time with it. You know, it wasn't easy for them, but over the years, things, you know, like that you're doing and other people, education is out there where people have learned to read from home and stay connected. You know, I think the last generation of voice actor had trouble with it. This generation does not. I think all of the resources out there have allowed actors to adjust. And I certainly have actors that work from home that sound amazing. They're so thoughtful and so connected. And, you know, and that's what it takes. It takes hundreds of auditions in a row that are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what it takes. Hundreds of auditions in a row that are amazing, and you'll eventually get booked.
Yeah.
It may take hundreds.
Yeah.
It may take 5, but it may take hundreds.
Fab.
But eventually people get noticed in this business. If you're good, you will make it.
Yeah. And in terms of animation stuff, because I know that we had Jennifer Trujillo a couple of weeks ago from Disney, who's fabulous. And we've also had lovely Aaron Drown on, and we've had Sarah Jane Sherman. And animation in LA, I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? You've got to be in LA, right?
For the most part, you do hear stories about New York actors getting on shows and stuff, but for the most part, they really want you in Los Angeles because they like to do ensemble records.
Yeah.
They want all the actors in the room, and it's a lot of fun too. It's really terrific. When they have name actors, and they love name actors in animation, then they won't really do ensemble records. It'll just be individual records, but for the most part, yes, you do need to be in LA. Again, you'll always hear exceptions to the rule. But believe me, the casting directors and the producers and directors want you in Los Angeles because scheduling is just difficult. You know, the people who book animation are very talented and they have careers. So, and then to get them all in a room together, it's a little tricky. So, yeah, that's why they prefer you be in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And in terms of your agency compared to other agencies, because I know it's, you know, and it's something I'm going to talk about in the Buzz magazine, the next edition of the Buzz. There's an interesting article all about, you know, different agents, different voiceover agents being the same and not the same, obviously. What is it that what would you say makes your agency unique?
Well, I think first of all, the dedication from myself and my staff. We live it and breathe it. This is what we do. We love it. This is our job and our hobby at the same time. So, and my clients know that. They know the dedication. It's a little hard to brag about yourself, but we love what we do here, and our clients know it.
Yeah.
We're really tight. My list is super tight compared to a lot of other places. And listen, we're no boutique agency here. We're a bad boy. We're not a boutique agency. Now we're boutique in the way that we treat our clients. I mean, you can get me on the phone any time of the day if you're my client. Everybody knows that. You can call any time and get me on the phone, email, text, whatever it may be. So, and I know that all the other agents are available as well, but, you know, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
And I just want to say on that being at the BAFTAs the BAFTA Games a year and a half ago when Cissy Jones, I was honoured to be there with Cissy when she won Best Performer at the BAFTAs a year and a half ago, and she got up on stage and she thanked you, and she, you know, and she always kind of speaks so highly of you, and she is an amazing voice actor. She's actually she's in
because that's she's one of the actors, like I had mentioned. I knew she was going to work before she did. You know, I knew she was going to be good. She didn't. You know, you as an actor, you have to have somebody book you to believe that you're actually good.
Yes.
I'm a top agent, and if I tell people they're good, they like to hear it. But until they book jobs, you know, it's all me flapping my lips. You know.
Yeah. Excellent. Nice. Roger, did you have more questions coming in?
Yeah, there's a couple. Some of them around. I mean, there's the one we get so regularly. I will ask the question, and you can give us your tooth pennyworth, Dean, because it's the one about slating or not slating. Do you slate when you do an audition, or do you not slate? Does a great read get forgotten if you haven't got a slate in front of it? Go.
All right, here's the real answer, people. Ready? You slate your name, in my opinion, almost like your name is one syllable. So if it was me, I'd say Dean Panaro, and I would say it with no emotion. I would say it very quickly. I would let the casting director get nothing at all from me saying my name, and they make their entire decision based on my read, not on my slate. I don't even want them to hear my slate, frankly. They don't even need the slate because my name is typed on the thing anyway. But yes, I would slate acting like it's one syllable. I would say Dean Panaro, Rachel Naylor, Roger Woods. That's
good.
And
excellent.
And then I would do my read. And now if a casting director says no slate, then you do no slate. No hello, no hi, no good morning, no goodbye, just your name. That is it.
Good. That's getting a lot of thumbs up in the
that is the exact answer.
Nice.
Yep. That's
what we want. Casting directors do not want to hear anything but your name.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Quick one here from Jim. Don't know where Jim.
Follow up on that.
Oh,
yeah.
Follow up on that. Slating in character for animation or video games or whatever it may be, that has become more accepted, if you will. And I'm okay with slating in character. You know, back in the 90s and early aughts, like if you're Jim Cummings, you think Jim Cummings is going to slate in character? No, he's Jim Cummings. He's a professional. It's Jim Cummings. I'm going to do Winnie the Pooh now. So back in the day, nobody slated in character because they were professionals. Now it's more accepted. So I think my earbuds are about to run out of battery. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, we can. Yes, yeah.
Hang on one sec.
He's gone. Right, type your questions in, people. And also, just on that, the hashtag is VON webinar, people. VON webinar. Take a moment to tweet away. And we are at Network VO, and it is what's Dean's handle? It's at Dean Panaro Talent, I think it is. At Dean Panaro Talent. Someone will find it. And on Instagram as well. Instagram. Hey, he's back.
Yeah, I think my earbuds are running out of battery, I think. Who knew? I guess I've never used them so long. All right, I'm back.
Okay, can we slip another question in here? Oh yeah, Jim, I don't know where Jim's dialing in or participating from, but he wants to know if there is my screen has just completely gone up the creek here, if there's a similar platform to Central Casting for voiceover work.
There used to be Voice Bank. Now it's just a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, Voice Bank got eaten. I was going to say they did. They kind of got eaten by some
those who must not be mentioned.
It's a mess.
Good. Okay, we'll leave that one there and move on very, very swiftly. Cromitty has just joined us. She's up in Stoke, which is sort of the Midlands. Nice to have you with us, Cromitty. She was confused recently by some Minnesotians who thought she was Australian, although she has a very distinctive accent for a regional accent. UK regional accents, how would you treat those, Dean?
Yeah, as I'd mentioned before, we are terrible with accents. So don't be offended if somebody from Minnesota thought you were, or whatever it was. Believe me, I'm not surprised. So the best thing is to develop a little like fake accent that doesn't really exist. I swear to you, just a little that has a little UK-ish in it. It's, it's called a mid-Atlantic accent, if you will. You guys know what I'm talking about, I believe, but it's half American, half British, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's what sells here.
And I've had that before, Cromity, as well. I've had that with clients who've got back to me and they said, yes, sorry, you sound too Australian. I was like, oh, it's not Australian, it's British. Yeah, like I don't really know what to do with that. But anyway, there we go. You just do it again and yeah.
Quick question from Nicola. Nicola Delgado says, what's the best way to engage with an agent in the US if you are new to the voiceover business?
If you have a good demo, I would send that demo. And you just have to kind of do the stick-to-itiveness game. Go to classes where agents are talking, because that's, when I go to a class, I am open to meeting new actors. So going to seminars where an agent is, send your demo if it's good. If it's not good, send it. All right, my things are down again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we can still hear you though.
Yeah, we can still hear you. Sounds butcher.
But yes. So training, going to events, networking, which is so important. Which is how the Voiceover Network started, was because I wanted to create more networking opportunities, not just for myself but for everybody else. And there is something amazing, when you meet people face to face. But also, I think the whole training, and we do these online courses where we have casting directors and we have agents who come in and work with talent, and it's a fantastic way to learn, and it's a great way for voiceover artists and agents and casting directors and producers to get a chance to get to know each other and work together in a less pressurized environment. Because when you're in an audition and it's like da, but when you're in a workshop and it's you're experimenting and everybody's there to learn, it's a more relaxed environment. And I often feel that casting directors and agents they'll see the talent in a much better light, because they're not going, oh, I really want to be booked in like when you're in an audition. So yeah. Right. Dean, are you still with us? No. Okay. Back onto the social media, people. Are you there?
Yep, I'm back.
Yay, he's back with us. Fantastic.
Just before we left, or Dean left us because his earbuds are playing up, he was talking about sort of just the LA scene. I've got a question here from Jacqueline. I think she's in the States. She wants to know if you do workshops. I mean, we know that a lot of producers, a lot of agents, a lot of casting directors do workshops. So do you follow in the same vein? What sort of workshops do you do?
I do Marilyn Wissner's workshops. You guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
we love Marilyn
Wissner's workshop. Yeah, she's terrific. What other workshops have I done recently? I used to do Radio Ranch's workshop a lot, but I've been a little slower. Ben Pronsky's very similar to you. His is the voice actors. I think my things just died. Did they die?
No, we can hear you.
Ben Pronsky has a place called the Voice Actors
and
Network.
We what about you come and do something for us, Dean? Absolutely,
I would love to, and I think in the near future I'm going to.
Yes. Who would like an online workshop, the Voiceover Network with Dean Panaro? Just say yes if you're in. Oh, look at that! Woohoo! Nice. Fantastic. Well, we are going to organise an online workshop with you, Dean. That would be amazing. Great. To get you on, and then maybe we should get you to the UK some point as well.
That'd be great too. It's been way too long.
Oh,
I was in Sheffield many years ago.
world. Wow. Oh, fantastic. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Excellent. Right. And Dean, is it you used to be what did you do before you were an agent?
I was a diver.
You were a diver. Yeah, I did see that. I saw a video of you.
Yeah.
You were a professional diver. Is that right?
Well, I guess, well, I mean, I was amateur, you know, in that, you know, I was
To compete?
trying for the Olympics. Yeah. So, yeah, I was, I used to be pretty good back in the day, but that was a long time ago.
Amazing.
Now it's all voiceover.
Yeah, but I often feel like there's a real, there's a real synergy between being a professional athlete and being a professional voiceover artist. You know, because
being a diver is very similar to being a voiceover artist, and in so much as in diving, you're in a little Speedo by yourself up on a board. And in voiceover, you're, I think now, can you hear me?
Gone again.
We can hear you.
Oh. Yep. 2 minutes.
Cool.
1 minute.
But yes, people, we are going to get Dean Panaro to come and do a workshop for the Voiceover Network. We're just gonna confirm the dates, and we'll send you all an email, and you'll have to work very, very quickly to get a place on that. So we will get that sorted. Have we got the social media? Dean Panaro is on, what's his Twitter handle? Because we want to get his Twitter. I want you all to follow him on Twitter, please, and on Instagram.
I posted the Instagram, so,
So
yeah.
make sure you go and find him on Instagram, please, and post pictures and tag him in them, and there we go, at Dean Panaro VO, and use the hashtag, and I will make sure that we retweet and like and stuff. So yeah, fantastic. Are you with us,
Sorry,
Dean?
I'm back for the end. Yeah,
Yay!
sorry about that.
No
so
worries.
anyway, I was saying,
Yes.
in a voiceover booth, you're alone by yourself, and on a diving board, you're alone by yourself. You do the dive, you come up, and somebody judges you. And it's the same thing with voiceover. You do your read, nobody can help you, and then somebody judges you. So it's kind of a subjective thing. So I feel like I understand the mentality of a voice artist, because I was there. You only have yourself to rely on. And you can only control certain things. You can't control what other people think of you, the judging part, so to speak. So anyway, yes, as a former diver, I feel like I have a very good track on on the mental aspect of it. And I think that's helpful for my actors. I think it's helpful that I coach them up. I think I look at it as an athlete that I'm coaching my actors. I don't just look at it as I'm an agent, just getting them jobs. I look at it as my job to make them better. Yeah.
Is that as a result of being a diver? You've got to literally stand on that board, visualize what you're going to do. You've got to coordinate your limbs to make sure they go in all the right places, and then you've also got to breathe appropriately, so it's all delivered in one package. You can sort of see that in a voice artist. Yeah,
well, because you revert to your training under great stress. So under great stress as a diver, you just go blank mentally and training takes over. It's the same thing with a voice actor. You have to have the goods, because when the other side of the glass is filled with 10 people, and those 10 people are all agency people, and it's Ford, and you could make a ton of money on this gig or not, there's a lot of pressure, and you're going to revert to your training at that point. And so you better have it all on lock. You have to know what you're doing, because under great pressure, and there is great pressure in voiceover. Do not think there is not. There is great pressure. Even if somebody just tries to go to a microphone and read copy in front of other people, it is a lot more difficult than you think it is. So anyway, yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
So what are some of the trends that are happening right now, or that?
It's so interesting. I'm trying to find those, so to speak. Commercially, is it intimate? Is it projected? I will say, I do feel like your level of projection is really important right now. And I don't think it's as intimate as it was 5 years ago, in my opinion. I think it's a little backed off, a little more projection. And again, as I've said several times, it's all about phrasing and how you group words together. Is it interesting? So that's always going to be a part of it. Interesting pacing. You can't just pace it out commercially. So interesting pacing, interesting voices. And I believe a little more projection backed off the mic is kind of what the trend is right now, if that helps. But every area is different, you know.
Yeah.
Commercial is, I usually
Oh, we've lost you.
Completely.
We can't hear you.
good acting.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
You're back.
Oh no, it's these wireless headphones. Oh.
You're back, though.
You
We
back?
can hear you.
Can you hear you?
Oh, we can hear him typing away. Yeah.
Please? There we go. Hello, are you
He's saying, oh, okay. Yes, trends. What's going on?
there? Yes, fantastic.
And I was going to follow up with an improv question. What he
Ooh.
feels about improv.
And actually, I quite like the idea of Julia Norton. I have no idea who she is, what she looks like, or where she is, but she always does her voiceover in Speedos. I just, you know, I hope it's just slightly more than Speedos, you know.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
That's one of those sort of visions I don't really need at this time of the evening. But Julia, thank you very much indeed, though. No, just Speedos, according to Julia. And just
Great.
send us a photo. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, fantastic. But yes, so everyone, you'll need to keep an eye out. We need to get Dean booked in for an online workshop. So we will send you all an email, and you'll have to be fast, fingers on the buzzers, to get yourself booked onto the workshop with Dean, which is coming up soon. We will confirm the date later. Dean, are you back?
Yeah.
Yay! There he is. He's back.
I tell you, Dean, the intermission was lovely, and I shall respond, and you weren't party to it, that Cromarty has just said, it's the beauty of Skype, business on top, party down below.
Yeah.
Speedo image. Yeah. It's one of the people in the chat room said they always do their voiceovers in just Speedos.
Yeah, that's it's more prerogative.
I've asked her to send me a photograph.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I was talking about the trends in animation.
Yeah.
I'll just finish real quick. Good acting, screaming in a wacky character voice is out. You know, no yelling in wacky character voices. It's about good acting, nailing the joke. Almost every line in animation has a joke in it. It's incredible. So nailing the jokes in unexpected ways, for sure. And again, casting directors hate yelling in animation auditions. For some reason, people think animation is about yelling in a wacky character voice. That is not how it is anymore. It's good acting. And then for interactive, it's understated acting, more theatrical acting, understated. That's what, and masculine sounding men, you know, masculine sounding women. So
I've got quite a few of those. I'm quite interested in something you said a little earlier, Dean, about backing off the microphone, because I think we are so used in the UK to listening to promos and commercials done in the States that are really close on the mic, really, you know, giving it some welly. Where here we do tend to step back. I mean, I step back from the mic purely and simply because it just sounds so much more natural and much more open. So is that starting to manifest itself when you tune into, you know, KWAM, whatever it happens to be?
I believe so. I think the actor Neil Brennan, I think his name is, he was Dave Chappelle's writing partner for the Chappelle Show. He did some Samsung spots a couple years ago that I thought were just brilliant. Now, I think the client ended up maybe thinking it was too edgy or something, but he was backed off and very loose. There were LeBron James commercials, I want to say, but he was super loose and he just sounded so good. And I really thought a lot of other commercials would go that direction. And now maybe they will in the coming future, but I just feel like a little backed off, really natural is what's going to sell in the near future. I do. If you listen to, like I said, I think it's Neil Brennan did some Samsung commercials from a couple years ago with LeBron James. And I just think it sounds like what tomorrow's voiceover is going to sound like, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because one of the trends here is very much learning your craft at the microphone, learning how to use, what's in front of you. I worked for the BBC before I became a voiceover artist, so I was taught to use one of these things properly. But some people just sit there and just bellow into the damn thing and try and get a gig that way.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry. I can actually hear while they're charging if
Excellent. I was just going to follow up with some improv question that always comes up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What your thoughts are about actors improv?
I love it. It is so helpful. Anytime you can add something to a script to make the writer seem funnier than they are is always going to help. TV is a little trickier just because they have lawyers that look at that stuff. But if it's radio, you can just ad lib all you want. And if it's comedy based for TV, you can ad lib. But I love when my actors do improv classes. If they're not taking voiceover class, I almost rather you take an improv class than a voiceover class sometimes, just because too much voiceover intense training can get you can put you in a box a little bit. I feel like you need different types of acting can really help you, can keep you in a broader range.
Definitely.
I certainly am not trying to say that studying voiceover is a bad thing. That is not what I'm saying. Yeah. Studying voiceover is what you have to do, but you can become a little bit have a little tunnel vision in the voiceover world. So it is great for improv. I love it.
Yeah. Fantastic. And we have Stefan Cornercard does some brilliant workshops for us, impromptu character workshops. And we also just had the wonderful Scott Parkin who came to London and did some great improv stuff at Above and Beyond.
He's one of the most naturally funny men on the planet.
He really is.
He's just got it. He's just brilliant. Funny.
Yay. Is he watching? Yeah. No, are you on, Scott? But yes, we love Scott Parkin. So fantastic. Good stuff. Right. Do we have any last questions?
I was a little surprised that someone just tried to post something from BBC News about Sheffield and swimming, but it was about the construction of the stadium not happening in time, which they're blaming on Dean from all accounts.
What was it? What happened? They never got open?
Well, the stadium was somewhat delayed, I think, before the event started. So I think it was in 1995 or something. I don't know if you were...
Yeah, 95, I want to say. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Well, I remember at the time there were some people not thrilled about the World University Games being in Sheffield, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Wow, fantastic!
I was thrilled. I loved it. You guys had that really strong beer.
My video cut out earlier, so I was just wondering if you guys covered at all how to approach an agent if you're trying to get representation.
Yeah, we did briefly.
Yeah,
okay.
Workshops for sure.
Yeah.
Send your demo. I have a group of emails with about 100 demos I have to listen to still, because I will listen to everything sent to me.
Yeah.
So send your demo, but workshops are probably the best way these days.
Yeah.
Like really what we're doing here. Or what we will do in the near future.
And also referrals, I think. If you know somebody who's with an agent, or get to know people who are with good agents.
Yeah, if a top client of mine refers somebody, I'm taking a meeting, I'm listening.
Yeah. Which is fab. Excellent. And what about social media? And of course, social media. So everybody needs to follow you.
What's our Instagram? Dean Panaro Talent. Yeah, Dean Panaro Talent. It's got to come up. There can't be more than one.
Dean
but
Panaro
I have
Talent.
like 200 people. I want like 250 after this.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't posted in a week or so, but I'm going to post. I should have posted this. Is what I should have done.
Yes. You need to take a photo and post it. There will be plenty of photos. Check out Twitter, and you're we put I think at Dean Panaro Talent on.
Yeah, Dean Panaro Talent.
Fantastic. So, but yes, and we actually here at the Voiceover Network, we've done this month. There's been an agent challenge group, which has been part of the membership, and it's been that we've set up this Facebook group of people who are actively looking for new agents, and it's been really fun. Actually, people have been sharing stories and talking about, you know, how to get that, you know, how they're getting on with getting agents and who they're targeting. And I talked about it should just be 5. Don't go for loads. Narrow it down. That's always my advice. And do your research.
Sure.
And then send an email, but also follow people on social media and like their stuff and be nice. And yes, there we go. So there we go.
All good advice.
Wonderful. Right. I think, oh gosh, we are at the end of this voiceover hour, and it has been amazing. Thank you so much, Dean. You have been an incredible guest. So
it was a lot of fun. Thank you. I'm really sorry about the earphones.
No, that's all right. No. It's the, you know, technology. So we have issues.
Things happen.
They do. So but yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And also, just to sort of say, what do I need to say? There's those of you that are based in the UK, the Christmas party, Voiceover Network Christmas party is coming up on the 7th of December. Do not miss it. It's going to be incredible. Tickets go on sale next Wednesday at 10 a.m. UK time. We have an amazing theme for this year's Christmas party. Last year we had a Wild West party. The year before it was rock and roll, and the year before that it was Great Gatsby. Dean, you would love our Christmas parties. You'll have
Sounds fun.
to come over. So this year, the theme is top secret, I'm afraid, but it's going to be amazing. Oh, and you can dress up if you want. It's going to be a really, really fun theme. So keep an eye out. Next Wednesday, tickets will go on sale for our Christmas party, which is on the 7th of December. Wonderful. And we will be putting together an online course. So I will speak to Dean and we will get an email out to you guys with details of doing an online course with Dean Panaro. Fantastic. And if you're not a member of the Voiceover Network and you would like to join, please email lisa@thevoiceovernetwork.co.uk or me, Rachel, at thevoiceovernetwork.co.uk. We will send out an email as well to everybody, but we are taking in new members at the moment. So we only open up the membership at certain times of the year, and you have to apply to join. So it's, you know, it is for working professionals, but please do give us a shout if you would like to come and join the Voiceover Network. We would love to have you. It is growing, and we have lots of really exciting things coming up, including online courses and the Buzz magazine and everything. So yeah, good stuff. Wonderful. Right, don't forget to tweet and Instagram Von Webinar, please. VON webinar. Wonderful. Right, we better go. Thank you very much, Roger. Thank you, Roger Woods.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much. We'll do it again soon, hopefully.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa Fisicharo.
Wonderful. Great stuff. Yeah.
Right,
Thanks, Dean.
Wonderful. Thank you, members of the Voiceover Network. Thank you, non-members. Thank you, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning. And thank you very, very much to our amazing guest, Dean Panaro. You've been incredible.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Yay, wonderful. Excellent. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.